What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we have a full Dragonite team. 8 years ago, I did this team, and I thought it's time for a little revamp because Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon out of them all. It's got some great stats, some really good abilities, especially multi-scale, even into focus. So I'm going to be doing 6 Dragonite with 6 different movesets in today's video. I had some wild battles, and I really hope you enjoy. I reckon Dragonite is the best dragon Pokemon. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Let me know. What do you think is the best dragon type Pokemon? You can, out of all of them out there, who likes Dragonite the best? Let me know in the comments. If you don't, or maybe it's not your favorite, let me know. Alright, first battle here. I have no idea what this trainer name is, but they've got a Miraidon lead. This team was super duper sweaty. Like I could feel and see the sweat just dripping off them. So my first Pokemon here is going to be a Dragonite. I know that surprised you. And it is going to be a Metronome set. Now, unfortunately for me, this Dragonite got virtually nothing. I had Thunder Wave, I had Metronome, and I even got Sky Attack then. I also had Roost too. That was Max Attack and Max Special Attack with Bright Powder and Multiscale. So I thought, well, I didn't get a lucky move there. That's a bit of a shame, but it wasn't much of a shocker with Metronome. Next set here I've got is a Terra Steel physical set. Now, this set was actually fairly useful on my team because, as you know, Dragonite's got that big quad weakness to ice types, which made it quite an easy Pokemon to counter once, especially once one of my like Terras are gone and stuff like that. So this one is going to be going for a Terra Steel there. We got Dragon Rush, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and Agility. So I needed to be able to live that attack, so I went for the Agility and the Terra Steel, and this is a Dragon Rush flinching set. I've also got Iron Head for flinching and Rock Slide, 2 heavy duty boots as the item. I don't know what their trainer name is. It's like 2 L's upside down. We got to turn those 2 L's, those 2 half T's into 2 L's. The next Pokemon is also Miraidon. So 2 Miraidons down, but it gets better, people. Guess what? They got another Miraidon. They got 3 of them. Little Timmy, man, little Timmy came out today, people. So we've got 3 Miraidons only on Pyrite Channel here, and we're going to go for another Dragon Rush. I can't believe that it hasn't missed yet, and man, we've rolled 3 of them out, but it gets better. Don't worry, now there is going to be a Koraidon. So 3 Miraidons and 1 Koraidon so far. So we got that Dragon type Pokemon too, so I thought I'll just keep going for Dragon Rush. Let's get that sweep. Koraidon goes down like a sack of potatoes. So that's 4 Pokemon down, there's 2 left. Can we get this Dragonite sweep, people, against this sweaty team? Next Pokemon is another Koraidon. So little homies hit up that, I don't know, I think they've hit up the surprising trade, or they've gone through the game a million times. And then this Koraidon, I have no idea how that lived that, but it barely lived, and it close combated my physical, Terra Steel Dragonite. So that is the end of the Salt Dragonite. I was so close there to getting a sweep. So close. So now I've lost a pretty powerful Pokemon. I've lost my Terra. It's time to go into the shiny Dragonite called Sweat. So I actually did make a sweaty set for the shiny one. I thought it was appropriate. And we're going to E-Speed and get rid of that Dragonite. So enjoy this while you can, because I don't use sets like this too often. Last Pokemon is, they had 4 Miraidons and 2 Koraidons. Like, this is like straight up Sweat. Now we've got a little Timmy Terra here, and I was like, are they going to go electric, or like what are they going to do? So they're just going to go for Terra Electric. So they got that big old light bulb, you know. I'm going to go for E-Speed just to get some damage here, because it is going to be able to outspeed me. This is inner focus, this Dragonite, and it's a D-Dance sweeper, so it's definitely the best set on my team. Unfortunately, with Miraidon on the field, which is completely overpowered, it's going to drop me. That was Max Attack and Max Speed, Adaminature, E-Speed, D-Dance, Earthquake, and Iron Head with Terra Normal, and we got the Lumberry. Next Pokemon is Dragonite. I sort of nicknamed them all after the movesets too. So this is actually a Rain Dance set, so it's meant to perform in the rain. So you get that rain, and hopefully the opponent opponent will be in pain. We have Thunder and Hurricane and Weather Ball all on the same set, right? So I'm going to go for a Weather Ball. It was funny because Kottmeistern actually allowed me to get a Fire Weather Ball there, which is pretty cool. Now, they're going to unload a Hyper Beam, and my Dragonite lives. You wouldn't read about it. So now I can go for there's a straight up normal Weather Ball, disrespect, and do 2 damage. So they're recharging this turn. I'm going to go for a Hurricane here because I think Weather Ball is not going to kill, and Hurricane actually didn't miss, and it took out the Miraidon. And that is the end of the very first battle. That was like one of the sweatiest. Like, this video needs a like just for that team, right? Let's get on to battle number 2 there. At least they did in DC. Now, this was a really, really good battle. This is a random battle I had on the Poké Portal. I did like a whole bunch of them in a row. This is a very competitive team too. So we've got a Star Raptor lead here. It's got that Intimidate. They're going to go for U-turn. So that one didn't really take me by surprise. Still, I'd be interested to know what that first trainer's name was. It was like 2 L's, but I don't know. Anyway, so in comes the Great Tusk, which I had a feeling a lot of people tried, when they seen this team, they instantly tried to get an easy advantage on me by putting Stealth Rocks on the field. So many people did that. They just wanted that easy advantage, so I thought, I know what they're going to try and do, so I'm going to make advantage of that by setting up on a lot of these Stealth Rock users didn't expect a special Dragonite or like a powerful, Hydro Pump or Weather Ball, so I was able to get around quite a few of them. So that's an early KO on the Great Tusk there. In comes Alola Mola. I hit it from a Thunder from down under. Good damage there. They're going to try and go for a Skull Burn, which is not going to, do anything at all. So typically Alola Mola is just like a regenerator stall set. So I have I know they're definitely going to swap out here. And I thought, if I keep going for Thunder here, I might get a Paralyzed on the next Pokemon. That could be Goodra, right? Oh, look, it's Goodra. So Goodra Hisuian's going to come in. Now, this was such a great counter to my team. It was difficult to get around. So I had really nothing to hit this with. And I was like, well, I need that Pokemon. I need that Dragonite for a little bit later on, so I'm going to, save it. And now we're going to go into the Barrier Dragonite. Now, the reason why I called this Barrier is because this is a set I used to have, but it actually used to have Barrier, but they got rid of that. So this is a little bit of a throwback to that and my Skydrop Dragonite set I used to run. So first things first here, you've got to wrap before you tap. So we're going to get that wrap up there. This is a bulky Dragonite set. We've got max health, 112 in defense, and 144 in special defense with Careful Nature. And unfortunately, 2 Ice Beams, they've just got an overwhelming advantage at the moment because they've got a Pokemon that's very well suited for Dragonite. And they've got, Ice Beam, which they can just spam freely. They don't really need to do much here. So I needed to get around Goodra because that was their easy win Pokemon. They didn't really have to make a lot of effort here. They just needed to mash the A button, basically. So Luck is going to come in, and I'm hoping Luck can provide me with some luck. And also thought maybe I can get a Thunder Wave and get a Paralyze here. So I was thinking to myself, if I go for Roost here, I might be able to get it so I've got all of my health back, and then I can get a Metronome up. But this Goodra, it just didn't get Paralyzed. And I was also worried about a Freeze Hack at the same time too. So the rain is gone, which didn't really change too much there. I'm going to wiggle my my orange finger, my white finger, and we're going to go for Fusion Flare. Oh, baby, look at that damage. So we got some solid damage there. It actually kicked in. The Bright Powder worked, which was really funny. So I got to do an extra turn of the Metronome. So wiggling the finger, Water Shuriken, here we go. Look at this damage. So Water Shuriken is doing absolutely nothing at all. Like, really nothing. That bulky Dragonite was a Grip Claw wrap set with Roost, Fly, and Breaking Swipe, all made for like just stalling out an opponent. I used to have this really good Toxic one too, like Toxic and Skydrop and stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna go into Salt. As you guys know, this is the Terra Steel one. I went for the Dragon Rush and a miss. I was like, oh, that sucks so much because that would have done some good damage, and I might have even got a flinch too. And then they critted me. I'm like, are you serious? So a nice beam and a crit on top of that. Things are looking very, very, very bad. So I've got 3 Pokemon left. They've got an overwhelming advantage right now. All I've got left is this Extreme Speed Dragonite. Now, Extreme Speed Dragonite is very powerful, but it's not going to allow me to like instantly win the game either, because they still have some very bulky Pokemon left, like the Goodra and the Alola Mola. I may even get burned here as status, and they've got some very tanky competitive Pokemon left. So I'm going to go for D-Dance here. This is by no means going to allow me to get amazing damage on Goodra. It definitely won't one-shot it here. So I thought if I get that up, then I can go for Earthquake. I know they've got a Staraptor here, and I know there's a good chance of them swapping him, but I'm not too concerned, right? Because this Dragonite is a inner focus Dragonite. Instead of doing that, they went into Skeledirge. I'm like, okay, that's good. I guess they figured I'd just spam extreme speed, but I'm not I'm not just a scrub who's just going to keep going for extreme speed. Like, you got to use some other moves on your E-Speed Dragonite as well. So this is also an unaware Skeledirge too. I'm going to double back that up with a double Earthquake. Almost takes it out. Now they're going to go for a Will-O-Wisp here. So that was a good play, but physical Dragonite is always prone to getting burned. So I always give my physical Dragonite a Lumberry, which allows me to get around any status moves as well, or any unlucky status moves that happen. Maybe a secondary Paralyze effect or a burn and stuff like that. So now I've really got them pressured here. They don't have their Trampoline Skeledirge to swap into extreme speeds anymore, so they're going to have to try and play around this, right? So I was curious how they're going to stop it. So now they're going to go to Staraptor with the Intimidate, probably trying to drop my attack. I no-U'd them with Inner Focus, and now I can simply go for Extreme Speed. So they're sort of just buying themselves an extra turn there. I haven't revealed Extreme Speed yet, but in this case, I need to do it because I know that Staraptor is going to go for Close Combat because it's a standard set. So that is the end of Staraptor, so we worked around that. Not that it was hard to work around, so we got some bulky Pokemon left. We got Alola Mola, Goodra Hisuian, and Skeledirge on 2 health. So Alola Mola is definitely going to come in here and go for a Skull. They're going to try and burn me again. Extreme Speed is a 2-hit KO in this range. Alola Mola still has a lot of crazy bulk to it, and it has a lot of health too, right? So I'm going to go for E-Speed here. I don't have much to lose, but as you can see, it does very, very little damage. This is very defensive and bulky, and no burn for them, so that's going to be good. With the regenerator Pokemon, they're definitely going to swap that out, and they could go into Goodra here, or they could go into their other Pokemon, which is also bulky. But I decided to keep going for Extreme Speed, and for their cause, I reckon I wouldn't have swapped there either, because it's pretty dangerous. So now I've got myself back into the battle here. I've got a good advantage against them, and they're going to have to try and get past my advantage here. So in comes Amoonguss. I know they're going to either go for Spore or something like that, but they went for Toxic. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. So they're going to try and Toxic Stall me. So with this combination here with Toxic, this Dragonite may be able to get shut down considering what Pokemon they've got left. So they've got a Goodra, which can tank an Extreme Speed. They've got a Skeledirge on 2 health, which could tank that too. So I think if I went for an Earthquake here, that could be good against an incoming Skeledirge, but they may guess that and then go into, another Pokemon here. But I want to see what they wanted to do first, because I had a feeling they might have Protect, and they did. So they're going to try and Toxic Storm my Dragonite. Now, if I do swap out my Dragonite, remember, I'm going to lose that +1 at attack. And, Dragonite is not going to be hitting nowhere near as hard as it was before. So I've got a couple of turns left here. So my Dragonite truly is on borrowed time here. I've got 2 Dragonite in the back, but they're not really good set. I mean, most of these were not good sets, except for this one, really. And now they're going to swap out their Amoonguss and go into Skeledirge. So Skeledirge is going to come into the Extreme Speed. I thought they may try and risk a double Protect there. I mean, they didn't have a lot to lose. It was like a 50-50 chance. And in comes Skeledirge. So I'm like, okay, that's not that bad. At this point, I can just go for an Earthquake. I was a bit worried about Slack Off here, though. That's what I was worried about. I really, really didn't want to swap out here. I'm like, do I go for it, or do I just go for Earthquake and finish it off? Do I do the swap? Do I retain the Dragonite for later on? I may need an Earthquake on Goodra. It's not going to do amazing damage, but it might be something, you know what I mean? So I decided to swap out here. I was really, really worried about Slack Off, though. So we're going to go into the water one, the water Dragonite, which is, you know, the rain set there. So they're going to go for Torch Song. They're going to try and get some damage, which is fair enough. So Dragonite is going to be able to resist that. It would have been too risky for them to go for a Shadow Ball. I didn't think they'd expect me to swap out at that point either. I thought they expect me to go for Earthquake. So we got this Rain Dance Thunder Hurricane set. This is my only true answer to that Among Us now, and I need to make it count, right? Because the Among Us can simply just use Protect now and get around my Dragonite. I did reset the Toxic, but it's gonna be dicey, right? Next Pokemon is Goodra again. Goodra's got some fat bulk to it, just all around. Looking at my set, I'm like, well, I'm walled, right? I'm completely walled, so I'm either gonna have to sacrifice another Dragonite or set the rain up here for later on. It was a very, very difficult decision because they had some solid counters here. So I thought about this for a bit. I'm like, well, they haven't been paralyzed. I think they were paralyzed maybe one turn before, but not very often. I needed this to pressure the Among Us, but I did have another Dragonite which could also hit Among Us too. So I thought I'll just go for an attacking move, and they got paralyzed. So my move missed and their move missed, so it was sort of like a stalemate turn. So I went for Hurricane, it did 2 damage. I actually was trying to get a Parafusion, and I got it. I'm like, wow, that's really, really lucky. Maybe I can buy myself a couple more turns here before they press the Ice Beam button, yeah? So virtually, Goodra just had to press Ice Beam, and they beat me. So I needed to make sure I put it down to a low amount of health. So say I brought in that shiny Dragonite, I could go for Earthquake and, you know, finish them off there. Hopefully, you know, without a Dragon Dance and being poisoned, I wasn't really sure though. So I landed another Hurricane there, did another 2 damage. Goodra actually hit itself before, which is good. So that allowed me, an extra turn. Goodra is now going to get an Ice Beam off. So I knew it was only a matter of time, and I had nothing to hit it with, as you could see there. So now I've got the green Dragonite. So I'm going to bring back in the shiny Drag. I absolutely hated shiny, by the way. And like, this was intense, right? I was like, do I go for E-Speed expecting the Among Us swap in? I was like, no, I'm going to go for Earthquake here. Then they popped the Terra. I'm like, oh no. And they had Terra flying. I'm like, oh, that was so unlucky, right? They had to have the exact counter Terra. So I'm like, damn, this sucks. It's all down to my, the PIMPNITE special set, you know? Like, this is going to be nasty. So they got that Terra flying, and hopefully it's dying, but unfortunately it's not. It got through the confusion and got a D-Pulse off there. So that's the end of the Dragonite. All I've got left now is my special Dragonite. Now, I haven't revealed this one, and it's my ice one. So it's got Snowscape, Blizzard on there, right? Fire Mist and Hydro Mist, right? So I'm thinking, let's set the snow up. I know that I can live 1 Ice Beam, nastily, but I can live it, right? So I'm hoping I don't get hit by an Ice Beam. You know, there's Parafusions and all that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that works. And they get through it all and get another Ice Beam off. I'm like, come on. So now I'm 1 hit away from annihilation. We got that Blizzard. It did not KO. I'm like, oh no. So they snap out of confusion, and they got paralyzed. So at last, a slither of luck has finally got my way in the depths of this battle. Goodra is gonna faint, which is good, and all that's left now is the Among Us. Now, I'm definitely not out of the woods here, because Among Us, as you know, has got some great natural bulk, and I'm using a Blizzard Dragonite. So let's be real, it's not gonna one-shot. So I thought to them, I'm not gonna reveal Fire Blast. I got a plan, but I have to wait and see what happens here. What I was thinking, because I knew that they'd go for Protect and stall out my Snowscape. That was obvious, right? So I knew they'd do that. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, I've got 1 turn of snow left. If I sort of just go for Blizzard here and keep showing that I've got Blizzard, maybe they'll think that I've got nothing else to hit them with on the special side, right? So I'm going to go for Blizzard here. It doesn't take it out, which is not much of a surprise. 3 minutes left of the battle. So Among Us is going to go for Toxic. This was a very big turn, so I thought, you're either going to go for Protect this turn, or you're going to attack me with something like Foul Play, or, you know, you're going to heal or do something like that. So I thought, no, I'm not going to go for Snowscape this turn. I'm going to go for Fire Blast. that's going to be a good safe play because Blizzard going for Snowscape now might cost me the game. So I thought about that a lot. I went for the Fire Blast and they didn't protect. So they'll definitely go for an attacking move or healing move this turn. And that is enough to take out the Among Us. I saved that Fire Blast right to the end. Thank you for the battle, Amber, whoever you are. It was a random battle. That was a real close one. I hope you enjoyed my Dragonite team. I must say, I didn't enjoy that Gudra. That was very scary. It's like, I think that took out most of my team when I think about it. I think it took out like 4 or 5 Pokemon. Anyway, next Pokemon battle, we got a Durex Triple XL here, and we got my Dragonite lead. So we got an Acid Spraying Electros. Now, this Electros, I'm not sure of my opponent's name here. This Electros, Electros in general can learn a lot of different moves, and it's very, very bulky too. Mainly because of the fact it doesn't have anything that's super effective against it because, you know, being pure electric type and levitate, you sort of just have to like beat it with like a whole bunch of moves there, you know, just wear it down virtually. So that's why we're going to be using the old Barrier Dragonite. So we got that wrap up there, which is good. Now this has Fly, Roost and Breaking Swipe. So the idea here is to retain my multi-scale and, you know, able to leave those hits and then let like Wrap do the work. Now, Electros did have the leftovers as the item here, which sort of sucked because it was actually working against the damage I was doing with Wrap. Now, the cool thing about this set is with Grip Claw as the item, I'm going to have my Wrap lasting for 7 turns instead of the normal stuff, right? Which is like 4 to 5 turns on Wrap. On most trapping moves are like that too. So this guarantees you 7 turns. So it's a pretty cool item. And sometimes people are kind of wondering, how come the Wrap or the Fire Spin and stuff like that has an end? So I'm going to go for the Fly here. Fly does some reasonable damage, and they're really trying to drop my special defense here and hit me hard with Thunderbolt. You know what I'm saying there? So they're trying to one-shot me after that multi-scale is gone. So Electros is starting to get down into a low amount of health here. They can't swap either. That's the beauty of Wrap, so I can sort of drop their attack. So I'm going to go for a Fly in the sky here. Electros is actually going to go for Thunderbolt, which was to be expected. So we got a leftovers and we got a Wrap, and I was like, with the Fly damage that I did before, this should be enough to actually feign Electros or get very, very close, right? So Ekans is putting in some hard work there, some real hard work. Here comes the Fly, and I took it out. Easy peasy, so completely dominated. I don't think that critical hit mattered there. I don't think that mattered. So that's the end of the old Minty Fresh. Next Pokemon here is going to be a Dragonite. It's a family feud, you know. So I've got Breaking Swipe here, and I know what they're gonna do. Like, so most Dragonites you'll see, the best Dragonite set, you know, typically the most competitive one is Terra Normal Dragonite. You get to see that mostly. There are other variants and stuff of it. Most of the time, that's gonna be it. So, a little bit of an interesting Terra there. Terra Fairy and Terra Blast Dragonite. So, this is actually a very nasty counter for my team. So, like, what am I going to do here? Like, I did live, but only because I'm like a super, super tanky set, right? And that was I'd say that was a special hit, actually. So it's going to be a mixed Dragonite. They do have extreme speed too, which wasn't much of a surprise there. So Dragonite is down. We're going to go on to the next Dragonite. So this, as you remember, is the Terra Steel one. So I thought it'd be a good idea just to go for Iron Head and get rid of it. You know, maybe I can get a flinch. Then they set up Dragonair. So this could be fully physical. It was interesting that my last set, you know, managed to lift that. So they've got a D-Dance up. I know they're going to go for Terra Blast. This has got Terra Steel. So I was like, if I go Terra Steel Agility, what are they going to do? Go for Terra Blast and then Extreme Speed? That's not going to fade me. And that'll help me that'll sort of set me up for the rest of the Pokemon there. So I had the plan. I just had to execute it. So we got that Terra Steel. We got that big old axe. We're going to chop this opposing Dragonite. Here comes the Terra Blast, obviously, for super effective damage. With the Terra Steel, that is going to do donkeys, which is great. With this set, too, it was inner focus, so it's not like I could tank hits normally, so I had to be kind of careful. That's where the Terra came in, in play there. So pretty much they did what I expected there, and I can go for an Iron Head and feint them. And now I've got a good speed advantage against any incoming Pokemon too. Like I can flinch them with Iron Head or Rock Slide, Dragon Rush and stuff like that. So Dragonite is down, which is good. That was a clear counter there. Next Pokemon's going to be Iron Hands. So Iron Hands, I thought, well, there's no way I'm taking this out. Maybe my best bet is to go for Dragon Rush. So I did great damage there, and I got a flinch. I was like, oh, that was awesome. So I thought, well, I guess I could go for another one. And even if I don't feint it, actually at this point I was like, hopefully I do feint it. Because if it's got Drain Punch, that'd be bad, you know. And it did get the Drain Punch, and it did feint me. But at least I got some damage on it. It wasn't all that bad. And it's got about a quarter health left. So I can't complain. That was pretty dang good. So that is the end of the Dragonite Terra Steel. Very handy in this, well, especially this team. You know, being 4 times weak to ice and stuff like that, it was a, very important Pokemon. So we're going to go into the Water Dragonite now, the Rain Dance, Thunder, Hurricane, Weather Ball set. And we're going to see if we can take this out. Now, people, if you are enjoying the video and you want to support the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment there below. I always get people saying, oh, I never see your videos and subscriptions. Basically, if you don't like the video or leave a comment, YouTube deems that as you're not interested. So if you wanna see my videos pop up and stuff where they should pop up, I'm sorry about that. Drop me a comment, tell me your favorite dragon Pokemon, or just leave me a normal comment, or a comment about your day or whatever. You know, I love to read your comments. So drop me one below, people. I'd absolutely love that. So we're able to get around the Iron Hands, and we got Garganacl coming in. It did paralyze me though, which is a bit unfortunate. So I got paralyzed this turn, which really stuck because I could go for a Weather Ball and do heavy, heavy damage. Dragonite is going to get hit by a Salt Cure, and Salt Cure is obviously going to take me out there, which sucks. If I want to say I would have nearly one shot if that Garganacl wasn't special defense invested, I would have done a heap of damage. I think I might have even fainted it. So anyway, that's how Pokemon goes sometimes. We're going to bring in the snow one. So we're going to go for a Hydro Pump in the rain, and it has got the sturdy ability. So it would have lived anyway, but a little bit unfortunate there because they wouldn't have been able to get a simple Salt Cure off there. So now I'm being Salt Cured, and I also lost my Multiscale, which kind of sucks. I do like these 6 Pokemon teams because I like the fact that you can come up, like you got one Pokemon right, and you can come up with all different movesets for one Pokemon. I've always enjoyed that. Anyway, let's go for a Disrespect Fire Blast in the rain. I'm sure they loved that one and made them a little bit salty. So that was a little bit of payback for that earlier miss, right? 4 Pokemon down, 2 to go. In comes Floatzel. It's got that little, what do you call that? It's a floaty? No, it's called something else. What's that thing you have, you're in a pool or on the beach? It's not called a floaty. It's called something else. What's the name for it? Oh, I forgot the name of it. The blow-up thing it's wearing. It's a specific name for it. I just call it a floaty, but it's got another name to it. I can't even remember. Anyway, we're going to go for Fire Blast here against the Floatzel. I was thinking it might have Water Veil, so I might be wasting my time here too. And it might be better just to go for Hydro Pump. So they were setting up bulk ups big time. I didn't really want to swap out into this once it started setting them up because it could have Ice Fang, and this Dragonite was pretty much expendable. So I went for Hydro Pump. Really impressive damage there. I probably should have gone for that before, but I didn't think they'd keep setting up so many bulk ups against me. Then they unleashed Quick Attack. I'm like, so they only really have Quick Attack, which is interesting. So I know they've got a water move. They probably got Waterfall, Quick Attack, bulk up. Don't know what the last move is. So clearly they only have Quick Attack to hit me with. Now, this was a pretty tricky battle because there was one Pokemon left after this, which was a very, very good counter to my team. So I had to try and think what I was going to do here. I knew the first thing I needed to do was to paralyze Floatzel. That was the first step in getting the dub here, but things had to fall in place. So I swapped out that Dragonite, and I went into the Sweat Dragonite. Now, they had a really sweaty Pokemon left here, which countered my team 100%. So I had to try and get a Dragon Dance up here, and I was hoping I could get that one up with the Floatzel, and I did. I got it paralyzed, which is really, really cool. So I thought with the Sunny Day up, that's great for a swap, right? Because Waterfall will be powered down, and Quick Attack's going to be doing donkey. So I followed up with it at E-Speed, which is fine. That's all good. But the last Pokemon is going to need more than need speed. It's Chiampao, a great counter to my entire team. This set did have Iron Head, and I thought, if you've got Sash, my only chance to win this is to get a flinch right. So I'll go for Iron Head, and I got it. The last Pokemon got flinch, and everything worked out so perfectly there. But I set myself up well there to get that win, you know. I was able to outspeed with Dragon Dance. I knew they had that in the bag there, but I did get a lucky flinch there, which definitely did help out. That's the third battle. Let's get on to the fourth battle. So another random battle. This one is against Pierre, I think that is, or Pierre, and they've got a Gleamore lead. So they tried to get a cheap Stealth Rock there at the start. I knew what they were going to do before they even did it, so I seen that in their team preview. I knew they'd do that, so I left my Earthquake Dragonite and got rid of that straight away. They weren't going to get easy wins here. I was really going to try and make them work for it. Next Pokemon is Hydreigon. This is a bit of a problem because a lot of the time Hydreigon will run Choice Scarf, or it'll just be a general counter there with Dragon-type moves. So I swapped into the Barrier Dragonite just to see what they were going to do. I was kind of hoping for Draco Meteor because I could work around that a little bit better, but they've got Life Orb Dragon Pulse, which is not so good. Then they went for a Heat Wave here. I don't know why they did that. I think they just tried to do that to break my multi-scale. And then I went for a Thunder Wave. This was the Metronome set anyway, so I wasn't really concerned about, living on and stuff like that. So then I went for a Metronome, and I got Self-Destruct. It was so lucky. So Self-Destruct is actually going to take out the Hydreigon and the Dragonite too. So, I mean, even if they went for Dragon Pulse there, I would have lived. So, I don't know. I think they might have been trying to burn me or disrespect me. Anyway, so in comes Skeledirge here. Another pretty damn good counter to this team. I've got the water one, right? So this is the Hydro Pump set, and I got some really good damage. So now Skeledirge is going to go for a Yawn. So straight away, all of these sets are standard, by the way, that the opponent is using. So it's not exactly anything new. So I pretty much knew what they're going to do. I was like, they'll probably go Protect or they'll go Slack Off. That's generally what they were going to try and do. And they went Slack Off. So nothing real surprising there. So I swapped out here, and I thought, let's set the Rain up. This is not only going to help me do more powerful, water-type moves, it's going to enable me to take this pain in the ass out, right? So they're going to go for a Shadow Ball. They got a crit, and they also got a Special Defense drop at one turn. So I was like, oh, nothing's really going my way at the moment. So I went for Weather Ball, and they lived on a bit of health. And now they're going to continue to press their advantage with Shadow Ball. I mean, they got a crit and a special defense drop. So I followed it up with a double Weather Ball, and that's the end of Skeledirge. At least I got rid of it right. That's going to be useful. So half their team's down. So I am currently winning right now. Then they brought in their Dragonite. So I thought, well, I'll go for Thunder. I'll try and get it paralyzed and break their multi-scarf. Now they're going to go for a Dragon Dance. So this is a very, very big problem. So it's going to be a Terra Normal Dragonite, judging on what, every one of their sets has been standard so far. Nothing is taking me by surprise. So that's the end of that. I thought, all right, we'll go into Salt. Let's go for a Terra Steel here because I think they're going to go for Terra Normal Dragonite. And I should be able to counter them, right? That was the idea I had in my head anyway. And, so far, pretty much all my predictions have been correct. So they've got that Terra Normal Dragonite, which surprised no one. And now I can go for a Terra Steel. So I thought, against this, my only issue is going to be Earthquake if they've got that. That's going to be about it. And then they might be able to finish me off with E-Speed, something, if I did a lot of damage. So they're going to go for Dragon Rush instead. I'm like, wait, I went for Dragon Rush too, but my one missed. So everything is going the opponent's way so far. So now they're going to go for a Dragon Dance there, boosting their attack and speed. I just thought at this stage, I'm going to have to go for an Iron Head. I need damage here because if I lose this, I'm cooked, right? So going for Iron Head. Good damage there. Now they're going to go for another Dragon Rush. It lands too. I just lived that. No sympathy flinch for them. They had enough luck so far. And Iron Head is going to be enough to take out Dragonite. So that was good. So Dragon Rush did surprise me there. I just ran that for a bit of fun on my set. Like, not many people run Dragon Rush Dragonite because it's mostly terrible. Next Pokemon's going to be Lucario. Lucario is going to have... Lucario lends so much priority. I definitely didn't expect to outspeed that. So that's the end of Dragonite. Really good, though. That saved my bacon against the the other one, right? So there's 2 Dragonites left. I'm going to go into the Ice Dragonite. We're going to go for a Fire Miss. It lands. Lucara's got that fat Focus Sash, so it's going to live on 1 health. I was hoping for a burn. I thought that'd be funny, but it never happened. They're going to go for a Rock Slide, so I was kind of happy it didn't have Ice Punch. Now, I needed that Dragonite for later on, and I thought if I bring this Dragonite in here, I can set up Dragon Dances. Once again, like the previous battle, the opponent had a very easy to win Pokemon on my... I mean, they had a few already, but the last Pokemon was such a click to win Pokemon versus my team. So what I needed here to do is I need to increase my speed and damage output. So I swapped it in against Lucario and I set up. So like, all right, I'm ready to go. There's one move that I'm worried about here if they have that and they had Ice Shard. So like, there's nothing I can do. So Baxcalibur was a clean counter to my team there. I don't think that even mattered because I didn't have multiscale. It was inner focus. So I brought in my last Dragonite here. I went for Blizzard and I got some damage. Now they're going to go for Dragon Dance. And they're going to use Icicle Sphere with loaded. So this is a standard set there. So very, very easy counter to my team there. They didn't have to work for it at the end there, but I really did push them at the end there. I really did. So that was a good battle with my team. I was happy with that. Let's get on to battle number 5. No idea what my opponent's name is here, but we have a Zacian lead. So this is a bad lead. This is a very bad lead. So this is actually pretty funny, right? So Zacian was the lead. I had pretty much nothing to use against him. I'm like, do I go for Rain Dance or just Thunder for damage? Now, they're going to go for a Timmy Terra turn 1. I'm like, all right, here comes the Terra Fairy play rough. You're like, you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen, right? So they got that big old love heart. I need to have a sip here real quick. You can use code SALT on your G Fuel, get that fat 20% off. Link in the description. Fueling all my battles, right? So instead of using Play Rough, they use Moonblast. So I was like, okay, cool. A special Zacian. So I get a bit of respect for the special Zacian. I'll give them that. They still had a spammable fairy move, though, which was very difficult. Once my multi-scale was gone, it was still doing a lot of damage. So the problem still existed. It just wasn't as severe as Play Rough. So once again, I found myself falling back to this Terra so many times because of, Dragonite's weaknesses. I'll say probably the best Terras on Dragonite, obviously Terra Normal. That one goes without saying. Like, Terra Normal Dragonite is very good. The second best one, in my opinion, is Terra Steel because it covers its weaknesses so well and it gives you time to actually set up. Like, you could do a Dragon Dance, Terra Steel, right? Easily can set up and easily can go well because Steel's good against Ice, it's good against Fairy, you can flinch, you can still put Earthquake and Extreme Speed on there. You'll notice too that I don't like to run too many Dragon moves on Dragonite. A really good Dragonite set doesn't always need Dragon moves either, especially with, Terra. So that's the end of my Dragonite. I had a couple on, I actually think I only had a few. I had the Dragon Rush set, I had that. And I also had, the Breaking Swipe. That was it. Yeah, I didn't have very many. So my team is getting completely destroyed at the moment. I brought in my Dragonite with Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave missed. I was like, oh, come on now. So now they're going to get another free KO on my team. Things are not looking good at all. They're looking very, very bad. I was thinking, I don't think I've got much chance of winning. Like, can I come back in this game? Can I get the W? Can I pull myself out of the manure here? This is also a no restrictions battle too. So the Pokemon were level 100 if you're curious about that. So now we got another Moonblast. Dragonite with Inner Focus only just lives that narrowly. And I managed to get a Dragon Dance up. So this is going to be my way to try and get myself back into the battle here. So Zacian will now get outsped. I mean, I've got E-Speed anyway, but I don't have Terra Normal, so it's just a normal Dragon Dance, set here. So I've got E-Speed. I was like, do I even reveal I've got Iron Head? Do I even want to do that just yet? Then they swap their Zacian out, and they're going to be going into the Iron Hands. So like, okay, that's good. That's good getting that damage, because this thing is bulky. It probably would have lived everything. Even an Earthquake, a +1, I'd say it would have lived it. But now, since it's taken that damage from E-Speed, it's going to be easy pickings for our Dragonite to finish off. So Iron Hands is down. Excellent stuff. So I feel like I'm finally getting back into this game now. Next Pokemon is Dragapult. Like, oh, I've got no dragon moves at all. But then I was like looking, wait, it's level 63. I'm like, what is this? So homie brought that level 63 Dragonite. It was funny because like I didn't realize it was level 63 for ages. So I was trying to like, hyper analyze the battle and stuff like that. And then like at one point then I noticed, I'm like, oh, it's level 63. I'll just press Earthquake. It was just really, it was one of those be there moments, right? So that's the end of Dragapult anyway. It would have taken heavy damage from Iron Head. It would have been a 2-hit KOs, whether I would have got the flinch or not. So that one's down. We got the Eternatus coming in. I mean, Eternatus is, at this page, is going to get hit hard by Earthquake too, but I wasn't sure if I'd faint it, So going for that Earthquake, it was like a pebble, and Eternatus lives and gets a Dynamax cannon off. Ah, I was so close. I had a feeling it would live because it's such a bulky Pokemon. Like, just it's straight, like, normal stats. Even with no EVs, they're very, very bulky. So I've got 2 Pokemon left. I've got the Barrier Dragonite. Now, this one's got Breaking Swipe and Flies. Like, well, that should be enough. But then, out of nowhere, Eternatus used Recover. So I'm thinking to myself, this is a bit of a problem because I don't have lots of investment in attack. So I'm doing good damage here, but they might be able to swap in Zacian. So they decided to go for a Dynamax Cannon. I guess they figured they couldn't stall me out there. Dynamax Cannon does about half my health. And I did what I needed to. There was a problem Pokemon. That Zacian from earlier on could virtually one-shot me now. And I had to try and get around. I was like, how do I do this, right? So Zacian's going to come in. Since it's a special set, I thought there is a low chance I can live this. Just a low one, and then I could go for Roost and get my health back. Or I could go for Fly and take it out. It's going to be very, very close. Like, Fly was still Stab, and it's got some decent damage output. At this point, I was thinking about go for Wrap or Fly. I couldn't make my mind up. Anyway, here comes the Moonblast. Dragonite lives on 39 health. Very, very close. And I went for a Fly in the sky. Now, unfortunately, they didn't want any of that. They wanted to keep their Zacian. They wanted to keep their overwhelming advantage. So they swapped that out and went into Samurott Hisuian. Now, Samurott Hisuian is going to get hit hard by Fly. But then I look closer. This Samurott Hisuian, it's level 80, right? And I once again, I didn't really like realize that before until it did Cease's Edge to me. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? So then they set the spikes up on the field, which is obviously going to change everything. And I thought to myself, if I can get some Roost back here, I can get my health back to live another Moonblast from that Zacian, and then I could go Fly and take it out. That was the idea anyway. So at this stage, I thought I'll go for Breaking Swipe, and we'll take out the Samurott. So Samurott is down. Not that that posed much of any threat, regardless, right? It was like a mix-out, I think. Like we had Hydra from the Caesar's Edge. So here comes Zacian. Now I'm ready. Now I'm really got to hit it with Fly. So I really did think about Wrap. I thought if I hit it with Wrap, I don't think it's going to faint it. And if it doesn't, that'd be bad because then they can follow up with another Moonblast and I'm cooked, right? But I know that Fly will faint it. And if Wrap's accuracy is a bit chonky as well, so I'm thinking, oh, do I go for it? Do I not? I was really thinking this one out because I didn't have many options left if I lost this Dragonite. Now, obviously, they're going to go for Moonblast, and Moonblast I know won't faint from here because we've seen that before. Like, I'm able to tank a couple of Moonblasts there. So now we're sort of deja vu here, flying to the sky. They swapped it out. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to lose their Zacian. And the next Pokemon to come in here is going to be Rayquaza. And this is bad too. This is real bad. So Rayquaza going to take the full load there. Good damage on Fly. Very, very good. Now I've got Breaking Swipe, but it's a special Rayquaza. And I mean, it's a meme, but it's still going to hit really hard. Like Rayquaza's actually got a pretty good special attacking set, believe it or not. So that's the last one is Dragonite, my ice one. I thought, oh, I don't know about this. I'm going to have to go for a Blizzard. If I don't go for Blizzard now, I can't live a Moonblast if they get a Dragon Pulse off against me. So I went for a raw Blizzard with no snow, and thank goodness it took it out. So last Pokemon is a Zacian. The Zacian, as we know, has got Moonblast. And I know that I can live this, but I was like, I hope it doesn't drop my special attack because it might like scummily live on like 1 health. So I went for Fire Blast. It was my most accurate attack here. Here comes the moon and I live it very, very nicely. Fire Blast is going to land. It's going to connect. And that is the end of this special Moon Blasting Zacian. So that was a pretty fun battle. We had like that the Moon Blast Zacian was, we had a good battle there. Like ultimately, if they did bring like a play rough set, obviously I would have lost them. But that was quite exciting. It made the battle very exciting. They did have a mixed set. Last battle here, this one is against Journey. I believe this one might have been on my stream. And we have a Espartha lead. So Espartha's going to go for a Protect here. It's going to use Protection. And watch this. This dude was messed up. So I went for Agility. So I thought, all right, this is good. They'll go for Protect and Speed Boost. They had Opportunist, copied my Agility, right? And then they had a Mirror Herb on. So they got +4 in Speed. That was bull. so they got a physical Last Resort set, which is pretty cool. I'll give them that. And they got +4 in Speed, and they got Last Resort. So Protect and Last Resort. Interesting set there for fun. I mean, I know what Espartha's attack is, and it's absolutely god-awful, right? Like, I've used one before. So in comes Grimmsnarl. It's going to use that Prankster Thunder Wave on me, which is a little bit salty, if you know what I mean. I'm going to go for Iron Head and finish it off. So at least that's gone, because that's just annoying, you know, being that fairy type and having Prankster. Now, the next Pokemon's going to be Escu, and Escu's going to go for that. This is a problem Pokemon too. So with Icicle Sphere, it's going to be able to hit me multiple times. And it's got its ice face as well. So I need to hit this with a special move, right? And they know that, so they're going to try and preserve it. So into Appleton. And I just went for a Raw Hurricane with no rain up. Appleton lives by the skin of its teeth, then they swap it out. And in comes OnlyFans. Where's a Rotom? Oh, God. Okay, like, my audience likes to joke with me, right? That instead of OnlyFans, they call like, oh, let's join a stream and we'll be OnlyBens. Like, they try to, like, make it into that and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, how we're going to have, like, a hot tub stream, OnlyBens hot tub stream and things like that. They always joke and stuff like that. So this is a scummy Rotom set. You know, they mainly are, let's be real. It's got Thunder Wave and it's got Confuse Ray for Parafusion, you know. And on top of that too, I actually managed to get a Weather Ball off, which is really cool. So I almost took it out. Did you know, guys, if you've got a fan in your room, like what fans do, right? They don't really create cool air. They sort of just blow the air around. But if you want a really cool fan, what you do, right, is you get like a bucket and you fill it with ice and put it behind the fan or in front of it. And what it'll do, it'll blow all the cool air and stuff like that. So that's how you keep your room cool with a fan. If it's blowing hot air around, do the PIMPNITE special with the ice and it's gonna work there. It's gonna be perfect, right? That ice block. Get your Escu and melt it in front of it and stuff like that. Anyway, we got to swap into the Appleton. I went for a Disrespect Metronome KO, and it's a disaster. I got Forest Curse. So when I got Forest Curse, Appleton was actually able to get some health back here. It actually managed to get a recover off because I went for Tickle as well. So that one swapped into Forest Curse, and then I got Tickle, and then it got a recover off. So it really, really sucked. I got 2 status moves there in a row. It was kind of a disaster, I gotta say. So Appleton got that thick health back. I'm getting that Metronome. Then I got Scale Shot. I'm like, oh, it didn't even matter at all. So this had Ripen. And it had a ripened Jabocca Berry, right? So Jabocca Berry did damage. So it's quite an interesting berry. So I guess, like, if you ripen that berry, you could potentially keep getting that berry back and doing damage. That's very cool. Last Pokemon here to reveal is going to be Dragonair. So it's quite fun. We have a Dragonair versus a Dragonite team. This Dragonair is going to be Terra Psychic. So like, ooh. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder what this set is going to be about, right? So I'm going for Metro. I'm wiggling my finger, and I got Psyshield Bash. Like, this was some bad luck here. Like, watch what happens. So I got a Psychic move. The Defense Rise was cool. Then the Dragonair is going to go for Wrap. So it's obviously some sort of, like, trolling, trapping set with Everlight. So then I'm wiggling my finger again. I'm wiggling it real good. Then I got Terra Blast. Like, okay, that's not all that bad, I guess, but not very good at the same time. Now the Dragonair is going to trap me in with Wrap, so I can't swap it all. Like, it's got that. Wait, if you look at it right, it almost looks like Dragonair is using Wrap itself because it's purple. So anyway, Dragonair's also got E-Speed. I guess as an extra damage. So then I got another Psychic. I got Expanding Force and Psy-Shield Badge on the Psychic. Like, that's really unlucky getting those two moves. So I'm sort of, I'm all out of luck here. I'm kind of hoping I got like Explosion and finish this off. So I'm wiggling my finger again and I got Wrap myself. I'm like, are you serious? So then I got Wrap. I wrapped the Dragonair and then it used Chilling Water to drop my, wait, did my health bar move at all? I don't know if my health bar moved. Anyway, I've got one more turn and I'm going to die to Wrap here. So I'm desperately hoping that I can get one more metronome off here. So I went for that, then they had E-Speed. Like, oh, I forgot about that. So Dragonite is down. I was all out of luck in that matchup. Constant Psychic moves and, Troll moves. Next Pokemon we're going to bring in is going to be Dragonite. I know this surprised you. So I thought, you know what? Let's go for a Snowscape. We'll get that snow up. And then I can go for a Terra Ice Dragonite, so that'll be really, really bulky. Unfortunately for me, this Dragonair had Rest, so that tells me straight away it's got Shed Skin. So they're going to be hoping for Shed Skin to activate and, to wake up and stuff. So Blizzard is doing nothing. I'm getting walled by a Dragonair, which is pretty ironic on a Dragonite video. So I decided to go for a little Timmy Terra here because I needed some more damage on my Blizzard. Blizzard was doing like, I think it was like a 4-hit KO and stuff. I'm truly curious what Generation 10's next mechanic's gonna be. I really am. Like, what do you guys think it's gonna be? Do you think it'll be a fusions or, putting Pokemon together somehow? I think it's going to be something like that, like merging two Pokemon in some way or the other. It hasn't really truly happened apart from a couple of Pokemon doing fusions. I think two Pokemon together to maybe make some new stats or a new ability. I don't know. Tell me all your thoughts there. So I finally took out Dragonite. Dragonair, only to have a Rotom called OnlyFans come in here again. So we're going to go for that Blizzard. And that is the end of the OnlyFans subscription. It was cancelled. All right. So we've got, we're not going to buy the OnlyFans. All right. We're going to go into, we've got the Esparta coming in with a fat last resort. Oh, that used Protect before. I used Blizzard. They used Protect. I think it actually got cut out there. But they straight up figured out how to use Last Resort without Protect. I don't know how they did that. So we're going to go for Fire Mist here. We missed with Blizzard. We missed with Fire Blast. I didn't want to lose to a Last Resort Esparta. I would have had to quit Pokemon. And we're going to finish it off with a Fire Mist. So excellent stuff there. The last Pokemon is going to be Escu. Now, this is good, but it's also bad because I've got Fire Blast, but I don't think it's going to faint, and it didn't. It didn't faint at all. Now they're going to go for a Reversal because they virtually had nothing to do there because I was Terra Ice, and Reversal does not KO, and that is the end of the battle. I hope you enjoyed the Dragonite team, people. Drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, everyone.